I think I have the I literally think I have one of the best ideas for a social network. I really think it's the best idea. I want to start a social network that only lets you post. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? YouTube, what's up? So grateful that you clicked and you're about to watch a new YouTube video, but before you do, 212-931-5731. That is my texting community platform. I'm doing a lot of one-on-one engagement in there and also access, opportunity, first looks in that environment. 212-931-5731. Join it now, and now to the video you've been wanting to watch. We have to change the conversation in our society. Until this society puts happiness as the North Star of success, not money, we will continue to not be happy deep down. I don't hate trying to win. I hate knowing that I know tons of millionaires who are borderline suicidal. I hate to know that it doesn't solve shit. My favorite, I'll rather cry in my Ferrari. Are you a fucking idiot? Crying is not interesting in any fucking vehicle. It's far more exciting to be happy taking the fucking bus. We have to reform the conversation in our society. Period. Yep. TikTok and LinkedIn, you've heard me say it over and over for the last 3 months. For everybody here who's B2B, I can't push you enough on LinkedIn. I can't. It's just a big deal. Instagram is now favoring images over video. Very recent change. That's why you're seeing more quotes and cartoons for me and a little less video. This is back to, this is where I keep pushing this, like watch what I'm doing, not what I'm saying. It's the first time I'm saying it publicly, and this is not super public, but D-Rock caught it, but it's hardcore to really look at how many times does he post video versus pictures in the last 200 days. That's some real tedious work, but it's all there. My big hope, just to make it competitive, is that TikTok adds pictures. I think that's the big thing sitting available. Will TikTok do the reverse of what Instagram did to Snapchat? Because Instagram's already testing a TikTok competitor in Brazil. Right now, right this second. I want TikTok to do the reverse move. I think if TikTok adds pictures, I think you've got a real fight. That'll be fun to watch. I like mega fights. Let me tell you why for everybody TikTok matters. Whether TikTok hits your demo, whether TikTok disappears like Vine, it's completely irrelevant. The skill set of communicating in that format will map somewhere else. If Instagram's, this is why everybody who pissed on Snapchat and didn't do it, and then stories came for Instagram, and they all hit me up and said, see Gary, fucking glad I didn't listen to you and waste my time the last 2 years on Snapchat. I'm like, really? Because guess what? You still have no skill set on how to do Instagram stories, and now it really fucking matters. And you would have learned the ability how to create in a stories environment on Snap that you would have transferred. Everybody has to learn why TikTok is resonating, because every one of those people, 12 to 20, are gonna be your customer in 11 years, and the format in which they would like to be sold your product is going to have way more nuances in the way that they were built by loving TikTok. MTV, every single business man and woman in their 40s dresses the way they do now because of hip hop culture. If you didn't believe in hip hop in 1985, 6, 7, 8, 9, you left a lot of understanding of consumer behavior. The MTV hip hop nuances are now the establishment. The way that TikTok creates and communicates in a decade or two will be an establishment of communication.
That's a really good point.
Right? Yeah. It's an interesting point, right?
Yeah.
It's something that I don't see anyone talk.
Fluency.
Thank you. That's a great way to put it. Like that. That's the point. That's why I became me. Because I was never scared to go on social cam, which was hot for 7 months, which became the beginning of me understanding Daily Booth. Do you remember Daily Booth? Which was a laptop version of a selfie a day, which then became Instagram, which like, it's the skill set of being a communicator. Period. I can give you the hacks. I'm telling you right now, I can give you the fucking hacks, I can give you the decks, I can give you the details, you can just copy everything I'm doing. The problem is, what are you gonna put in there? I can tell you where to post and how. I can tell you, like I'll tell you right now, that TikTok and LinkedIn are so underpriced with their organic reach that you should be posting on there because you will learn how to communicate in a modern world, TikTok, or you will get so much awareness. You could have no LinkedIn account, go home from this conference, create one, post a post, write 4 sentences on your thoughts about you, your business, whatever, and get way more people seeing that than you could ever imagine. You can't do that on Instagram anymore. It's mature. You can't do that on Twitter anymore. It's mature. There is no making the first video on YouTube and getting 4,000 people to just see it. Like, the organic nature of average content, because actually, ironically, with YouTube, if you make some fire, you can have your first, I mean, there's some gal I think that just got 2 million subscribers off of 2 videos, but I'm talking average content. You can put mundane, simple content on LinkedIn and TikTok right now and get enormous organic reach. I was the beneficiary of this on Twitter, on YouTube, on Snap. I've lived this. People are like, Garyvee, how much fucking investment do you have in TikTok? 0, dick. Goose. Nothing. The biggest ROI for me is being historically correct. I could give $2 if any of you assholes go on TikTok. I care about documenting it when it's proven to be true. Period. I want to be historically correct. Would I love everybody in here to do it? Of course. I want to get your email in 3 weeks saying, how the fuck did you know? I want you to win. There's so much abundance. All of you winning isn't gonna take away from my views. I want you to win. And I wanna give you the advice for free. Over and over and over again, like I've been doing for the last decade. Help me, Birmingham. Help me. Help me understand when it's free and consistent and free. And then, because you get older, you've been proven to be right and right and right. And yet, for all the hands that just went up, none of them are posting 45, 50 times a day. This is what got me to mindset. I'm like, right, I can't, it's not just taking the horse and bringing it to the water and getting it to drink it. It's also talking to the horse about their fucked up dad. It's about, hey horse, I get it. Like, we need to go deeper. You need to, listen, you wanna get real ROI from this conference? Go home and ask yourself, why are you not posting on every platform every day? You don't have time? Fuck you. You didn't grow up with it? You're not used to it? You didn't grow up with it? You didn't grow up driving, you fucking figured it out. Tell me, help me understand why. What, it takes too long to get your makeup right and the lighting? How about don't worry about your makeup, and when somebody says you look like shit, reply to them, go fuck yourself. I wanted to start a club, back to the club idea. I had this idea that was a mix of Soho House and nightlife. I was like, I want to start a club. This was a really interesting idea. I'm curious to see how you guys think about this. I'll give you an idea of how I think about innovating, where the culture is right now. I want to start a club called Tuesday. And it opens at 6 a.m. and you walk in and you can't leave until 6 a.m. Wednesday. You can't leave.
Why you can't live?
You can't leave.
Why?
Because that's the club. Like if you ever leave, you're never allowed to come back.
What were you doing there?
Yeah, they're like, I basically, I want to make it super restrictive. Think about everybody here. So I'm gonna give up giving up your entire Tuesday, that's absurd. It's a complete brain fuck, which is exactly why I think it would work.
That would work.
It would, right, Tom?
Yeah.
It would, right?
You would have.
Here's why it would work. I'm curious, like, here's how I always think. I hate focus groups of one, but I feel like I'm almost, it's funny to have you here where you said something, I'm probably gonna start using. I feel like, number one thing I push against, don't be a focus group of one. I wouldn't do that. That doesn't mean anything. On the flip side, I'm almost wondering if I don't have any feelings left. If I'm so detached and letting it run through me, that when I think, I'm thinking at scale of consumer, when I come up with ideas that make me go this. If Tom and I were hanging now, if this was exactly happening, I never thought of that, and we're just hanging and he's like, hey, by the way, did you hear about Tuesday? I'm like, no. He's like, there's a fucking club that opened in New York, or in LA, that it's called Tuesday. I'm like, what is it? You walk in at 6 a.m., it's like a Soho house, there's rooms and showers for people, whatever, and you can't leave until Wednesday. I'd be like, that's fucking amazing. Here's why it's really amazing. I think one of the most interesting things I've ever seen in my life is when people go on collective business trips or other kinds of trips. If this crew went for a week to wine country in Spain and spent all our time together, the relationships are uncomfortable. I am still, and this, you'll love this, D-Rock. I'm still friends with kids I went to college with I went to a hood college. A lot of these kids got kicked out of school. One of my friends that I talked to today, got kicked out of school 7 weeks after our freshman year. I'm still friends with him. I've always thought that the first month of college is this crazy thing. That people make true lifelong friends in the first 30 days of their freshman year in college. If you surveyed a lot, you'd be stunned how many people have. And I think it's this big shift. It's them spending a ton of time. I've made some real friends and had some real moments on this Australia trip I took for 17 days that I mentioned to a lot of you, buying wine in 2002, at South by Southwest, just 2-3 days in the evenings with guys and gals jamming. So I want to force that. I think that you come into the club on Tuesday at 6. I don't think people realize what 24 hours actually could look like if you're captive. What it means for, I think a lot of people go to Soho House and clubs and golf and do a ton of things to network, but you're there for an hour and a half. And it's width, it's not depth. I think you walk in and you're fucked. You like schedule, and it's also very disruptive. Like, it's very disruptive. It's kind of how I brought up February today, right? Notice how February's 2nd, notice how mine's Tuesday, same theme. Can't fuck up Monday, too much stress. I'm gonna go to Tuesday, right? And I think, I don't know, it's cool, right? I haven't been able to let this idea go. I've been sitting on it for a while now. It's the same idea as, I think I have I literally think I have one of the best ideas for a social network. And I'm disappointed and intrigued by the fact.
I've started building it.
One?
Yeah.
Did you know it?
Yeah, I shared it. It's literally the best. It's literally, I really think it's the best idea. I want to start a social network that only lets you post once every 24 hours. That's the restriction.
We're close.
The quality of that content, I think, is extraordinary. You're stuck. If I'm gonna say happy birthday to Tom, and by the way, the depth of the content, if I'm stuck every 24 hours and it becomes Instagram, and I decide that tweet, that whatever.
January, you're gonna see your prototype.
Okay, is happy birthday Tom? That's way bigger than writing him a letter. He's like, holy fuck.
Totally agree.
Right? Like the depth.
Wait for 24 hours.
You have 365 posts a year. The quality would be fucking bonkers.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a pretty good idea.
I think people would really like it. I think it would really, really work.
Yeah, you just gave cachet to a digital item.
Yeah, which is what we all want. And like, by the way, I would follow 1,000 more people.
If they only post once.
Right? Well, like on both sides. What I would put out, I understand, and I'd be like, and then I went, when I was ideating this 7 years ago, I was like, oh, and I would probably follow Snoop. I don't really give a fuck about Snoop all that much, but fuck it. One time a day, like, he's probably intriguing enough. I think it would become everybody's biggest platform based on like how I can feel my chemicals think about this.
In Australia, you said that is like.
This is back to the world is abundant. Like, you can only get to so many things. So I'm just like really passionate about sharing my best ideas. And like, I mean, if I'm right about that, that's $1 trillion idea. That's not, we're not talking about $1 million on that one.
Let's do that.